Hierarchy. Hierarchical diagrams are really easy. They are organized hierarchically, so they kind of tell you where the focal points should be. But first, this is what you get if you use SmartArt. SmartArt knows nothing about focus. It will give you a chart which is jam-packed in the middle of the slide and which has 20 plus blue boxes. They're all indistinguishable one from another, and the only way to tell which box is more important than the other box is just by looking at the position on the slide. I actually think that you will be so much better off if you ditch SmartArt altogether. If you just clone enough of those boxes, type in the text and then connect them with connecting lines and arrange using PowerPoint's align and distribute features. And of course the same works with Keynote. Alas, there's no SmartArt in Keynote. So this is what you get if you use SmartArt. This is what you get if you use separate boxes. And I think this is a much better result. What you achieve is contrast. Contrast between connecting lines and boxes. Contrast between different logical levels of the information. You can do it manually. But even though this chart is so much better than the previous one, it still could be improved. Now, I need to highlight 3 to 5 areas in this chart, and this is just my decision. I have to, think and decide that, okay, advisor and administrative assistant are not that important. However, the CEO and heads of the departments are important, so I'm going to highlight those boxes. First, let me do it with size. This is me increasing size of what I think is the first level information and decreasing the size of what I believe the second level of information. And as you can see, the difference is not all that dramatic. And this is actually a huge lesson, because the difference in size is not as different as difference in color. What if we can try it in color? The question is, how many colored boxes can you have on one slide? And this question, absurd as it may seem, actually does have a meaningful answer, and the answer is 3 to 5 boxes. And if you have more than that, it is likely to be a mess. This is not a guarantee, but chances are high that it is going to be a mess if you have 10 or 20 blue boxes on one slide. You cannot. What other colors can you use for all the other boxes? What is less important than blue? And the answer is, pretty obvious in the hindsight. What's less important than blue is gray. And if we make those boxes gray, oh my God, suddenly I can see something. I can see the first level of information and the second level of information, which makes the chart much more readable. I see those focus points, and then I can just scan the chart and find what I'm looking for. If you have extra, 5 minutes, go to flaticon.com and illustrate key points of your chart. This is another way to add contrast, to make it more visually interesting and actually make it more readable. And if you so wish, you can fit everything on one slide. Please remember that for some audiences this is more than enough. They do not need anything else. Please do remember that charts do not work for large audiences. Please do not try to explain everything on one slide. So, if you're working with hierarchy, few things to keep in mind. Thing number 1, do create focus with color, size, and of course, icons. Thing number 2, it's really, really easy with hierarchy. Hierarchy kind of tells you where those focus points should be. Pretty obvious, you don't have to think twice. And thing number 3, please go ahead and dim or just remove everything else which you think is of secondary importance.